Please make sure to navigate to the globe icon at the bottom of the Zoom screen to select your language preference. After a short delay, you should hear translations. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature to queue yourself in line for questions during your region's allotted time period, and we will call on you to ask your question. Please remember to direct your question to a player, players, or the coach. And also, please wait 3 to 5 seconds in between questions and answers to allow for accurate translations. We will now take questions from Korean media.
네, 한국 기자님들 질문 받겠습니다. 아래쪽
So we'd
반응.
like to get a question from the Korean media. So if you have any question, please raise your hand with the icon on the bottom of the Zoom screen, and please feel free to ask a question to the team.
국민일보 윤민석 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
It's Julian from Kookmin Daily. I'd like to have a question for the humanoid. So what was the reason of the loss of today's game? What was the main reason for today's game of the loss to 3-1?
I think the main reason was that they just played better in mid game. I think there were 2 games where we were ahead and it should have been won from our side, but they managed to turn it around. So I think they just played really well together from 15 minutes onwards.
다른 기자님들 질문 있으신가요?
Is there any question from the other reporters?
네, 쿠키뉴스 강한결 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
쿠키뉴스 질문입니다.
Ms. Kang from Cooking News. I have a question for the coach.
네, 맥 감독님 오늘 전반적으로 이제 이 경기에서 담원을 이렇게 잡을 뻔한 그런 좀 역전 굉장히 좀 리드를 유리하게 했는데요. 좀 그렇게.
So actually we could see a couple of moments that you could have a victory. So what was the things that you could improve for the next game? So is there any things that you can improve for the future?
I think game 1 draft was a bit on me. I think that wasn't necessarily the right draft for us in that game. Aside from that, as Humanoid said, I think that they were really good at denying us opportunities in the mid game. Maybe we can be faster at setting up ourselves. Maybe we can find more opportunities. Maybe we can learn something from them there. It would be the big thing that I would guess at the moment.
죄송합니다. 제가 라이엇한테 답장한다고 대답을 제대로 못 들었는데 이 경기에서의 뱀픽이 좀 아쉬웠다고 말씀하십니다. 이 경기에서 담은 잡을 뻔했는데 이거 좀 성격이 이상했는데.
애슐리 강 기자님 질문하신 건가요?
안 들리는데요?
애슐리 기자님 질문하신
Was it a question?
죄송합니다. 지금 오디오가 안 들려서 질문
So
드리겠습니다.
I cannot hear the audio.
안 들리시나요?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm speaking.
네, 들립니다.
들리시나요?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. 들리시나요?
지금 채널을 잘못 들어가 계시는 것 같은데요. 한국어로 얘기하실 땐 코리안 채널로 들어가서 얘기해 주세요.
패스하겠습니다.
I'll just pass.
Are there any other questions from Korean speaking media? Almost.
토머스 이한빛 기자님 질문하시겠어요?
한별리 from Famous.
네네, 제가 읽어드릴게요.
I can read out for you.
Yeah, I guess my voice is not coming.
Ari, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay. 토머스 이한빛 기자님 질문입니다. 다른 기자분들께서는
Lee from Famous.
선수 중 아무나 대답해 주셔도 될 것 같습니다.
So the any players can have an answer. So compared to the last year, what was the difference this year? So what could you learn from this year's World Championship?
Sorry, can I get the question again? I'm sorry.
Okay. 네네. 선수 중 아무나 대답해 주셔도 될 것
So
같습니다.
anyone from the team can have an answer. So compared to the last year's World Championship, what was the difference this year's World Championship, and what could you learn from this year's World Championship, 2021's World Championship?
I mean, last year I joined with my team that comes from TCL that we didn't have much hope to win the battles, but this time we came as a representative of Europe that we had chance to win battles. That's what we believe. That's what we worked for. It feels bad that we lose to beat in quarterfinals, but I think we did what we can do. So I'm really proud of my team. That's all.
네, 데일리 스포츠 김용호 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 들리시나요?
Can you hear me?
네, 맥 감독님한테 질문하겠습니다. 이제
I have a question to coach. So you're the last European team at this World. So what is your overall impression to the 2021 World Championship? So you were attacking the Kenyan at the Tolkien. So what was your strategy about that play?
So none of the players took exhaust against Kenan in game 2. So could you also break down that strategy?
None of the players took exhaust against Canyon.
No, yeah, that was the question from
Oh,
Kenan.
against Kenan.
None of the players took exhaust against Kenan on top lane. Sorry.
That's
not
okay.
Kenyan.
No, it's my fault. I'm not really sure I can answer that question for the players, to be honest with you. That's quite specific. That's probably more appropriate for one of them to answer.
So we didn't take exhaust because we knew we are gonna punish him and that he's not gonna be really strong in the game. And I actually think we had exhaust on Rakan, but I'm not sure. Because Kaiser said, wait, did we? Okay, we don't have exhaust. We punished the cannon. He was 0-3, but they were just better in the mid game. So that's why we lost. We weren't really afraid of the cannon in that game.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you for your question.
경향게임스 박준수 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다. 휴머노이드 선수께 질문 드립니다. 미드에서 LCK의 BDD, 쇼메이커와
So at the mid lane, so you have been fighting with the Soulmaker and mid lane. So what was your impression for the mid lane games?
I mean, I think Shoemaker always plays really well. He's looking like the best mid at the tournament, to be honest. And yeah, whenever I play against him, it's a lot of fun. So I'm just hoping I can meet him again in the future.
And you also played against BDD as well from the LCK. So any impression about him as well?
Oh yeah, BDD is also really good. I think the LCK mid laners are probably better than all of the other regions at this Worlds. I think all of them play really well, and they play the game really like strategically and slowly, which is a bit different than, for example, the Chinese mid laners. And I think it suits the meta right now. And yeah, I think they are just the best.
네, 마지막으로 국민일보 윤민석 기자님 질문 받고 마치겠습니다.
So this is the last question from the Mr. Yun from the Kumin Daily. I have a question for the humanoid. So from the first set, so you choose the determination, not the old guys for the Korean, for the Sidra. So there's a question for. So what was your like strategy for choosing the Sidra for your play?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
So from the first set, so what was your reason you choose the determination for the first set? So for the Sidra, so there's a like comment that Admirals is better for the play. So what is your like opinion for the like comment or feedback from the Korea?
So the question was about your rune choice. Why did you choose to take resolve instead of inspiration? And also the Korean commentator said Merktress is really good into Syndra. So what do you also think about that item build?
Oh yeah, I think I just wanted to play with second wind in the game because Syndra can have a lot of early game poke in lane, and second wind helps a lot with that. And also I can take the unflinching against the CC. And yeah, Mercs are really good against Syndra. I think I don't even remember if I bought it, to be honest. Maybe I did on Oriana. But in the second game I didn't with Victor because I think it was the only AP and they didn't really have that much CC other than that. And I just wanted to go for Banshee second instead of Mercs.
Okay, we will now transition to taking questions from Chinese media.
Question to the coach. How do you comment the performance of Mad Lions on these worlds, and what on which aspects do you think your team has grown through these worlds?
I think I'm really proud of everything that we've achieved this year in general. I mean, this year we've only lost 2 best of 5s and both of them were to Damwon, which I think is quite a good achievement from us. I think we've grown a lot as a team, and especially we've grown a lot at being, how to put it, at being really confident, even in losing situations, really proactive. And that's the thing that I'm the most proud of. In terms of what we've improved on inside the game, I think our early game has gradually gotten a lot better throughout the year, and especially at Worlds, I think our approach towards the first 10 minutes of the game was a lot better. So I think today we had 2 pretty good early games against Damwon, and the third one didn't go so well, but I think that's an improvement for us for sure.
A question to Eloya. Today, this year is your first year in the European region and your first time in the world. So what are your feelings in participating these worlds?
I feel like I could have done way more individually, so it's a bit of mixed feelings. But overall, the experience was really good, and it's as I expected. Playing against the best is what actually motivates me to keep playing and to keep working as hard as I can. So yeah, I think that it was a really good learning experience for me, and in the upcoming Worlds, I'm gonna perform much better. Thank you for the question.
大电竞，
你好，这个问题哪一位选手来回答都可以。
A question to all the players. On these worlds, you are very competitive, and you are playing against the defending champion DK. What are your feelings playing against them?
I mean, playing against the best is always like really fun for us. I think we could have done a lot more. I think we didn't play our best today, maybe, but I think, of course, Damwon being the defending champion, of course, and I think they also are the strongest team left in the tournament. I think it's always a fun learning experience because we always used to watch Damwon team fighting or like how they set up the map. So playing against them is like another like good feeling, right? And I feel like we can grow a lot from playing against the best. So it's always a really fun experience.
还有中文问题吗？伟权。
那个，我问一下阿木的选手好了，就是第3局等于说他那
A question to Ahmed. So the third game, you are being countered like crazy. So what were your feelings at that time when you picked your famous champion Wukong and being countered all the time?
Thanks for the question. In that game, early game was a bit hard for me. That I was like looking for some gold to come back. Like I was looking for opportunities for myself to come back in the game. That's why I was like trying to find some solutions for myself. It didn't work that well, but I'm still happy that in our last game in the Worlds that I played my favorite champion and we still lost, but I think we played like decent, like not decent, but we at least show competition against the best teams. So it was still fun experience for me. Thank you.
Hey, Ariel, I will hand to you.
Thank you. We will now take questions from English-speaking media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature to queue your question, and I will call on you. Travis Gafford.
This question's for Kaiser. Kaiser, do you think any team can beat Damwon in this tournament?
I think there are two teams maybe that can take down Damwon. I think it's either EDG or T1. I think personally, I think T1 has the best chance, and I think the next match that Damwon is going to play is T1, right? And I feel like that's going to be the real grand final. I feel like whoever's going to win that match is going to win Worlds. I think I would still favor Damwon, like 70-30 maybe, to win the whole thing. But I think T1 and EDG have what it takes to take them down.
Quick reminder to try to wait 3 to 5 seconds before answering. Benjamin Mock, Dexerto.
Hi, my question is for Mac. You've obviously been around the European scene for a long time, way back to challenges of Origin in 2017. and you've kind of grown on along with kind of the rise of the LEC. What's it going to take for an LEC team to take down these high-flying Korean teams, in your opinion?
I think overall the region will have to develop a bit more. I think this year Europe actually had a relatively weak year when compared to previous. I feel that, I mean, if you look historically at, for example, the old G2 roster, it took that roster, a few tries to get to a point where they were ready to then go and compete internationally. Like it requires a lot of experience because it's not often in Europe that we get to scrim and play regularly against top tier teams in the world. Whereas I think Korean teams, Chinese teams have an advantage there in that they can scrim each other regularly. So I think it's a combination of experience and the region leveling up a bit and having a good year, which I feel it didn't have the strongest year this year.
Jonah from Prensa.
Hi, question for the coach. What was the most complex or difficult aspect to face as a team in this series against Dangwon Kia?
I think there are a couple of things. Firstly, I think the red side draft against them was very difficult because they have quite broad champion pools. Secondly, I think, as we already commented on, their mid game was very strong. And thirdly, I think the big deciding factor was probably team fighting. I think their team fighting is really excellent. And that's one of the things that we are kind of renowned for in Europe. So that was a difficult matchup for us.
Ashley Kang.
I really hope my mic is working this time. I truly apologize for the previous question as I was getting a feedback that translation site wasn't working. Thank you so much for giving us a great series. I have a question to Humanoid. Humanoid, number one, in that third game, it almost looked like you were considering Yasuo to go with Gragas and Wukong, but pivoted to Victor in the last second. Can you tell me about this choice? And also, what would be your one biggest takeaway from today's series? Really appreciate it.
So the Yasuo hover was just a troll from my teammate quedarse, because I don't really play that champion, and he was just hovering it for fun. So yeah, I didn't really consider picking that. And the thing that I learned, I guess, in the last Worlds and at MSI as well, is that none of the teams are unbeatable, and you can, if you're a decent team, you can win against anyone if you get a good day. So I'm not really going into the series against the best teams scared, as I maybe did that 2 years ago. But now I always feel like we can win any game and any best of 5.
그 야수 픽 같은 거 경우에는 카르지 선수가 장난삼아 올려둔 거였고 사실은 고려하지 않은 그런 픽이었다고 합니다.
Invin Global Quest.
Hi, this next question is for Mac. Mad Lions obviously was a team that rose in performance and just took over the LEC in 2021. How do you reflect on the team's growth and the players' growth, both individually as a team from the beginning of the year to basically now? Thank you.
I think that actually it's been a really wonderful year for me personally, and I hope the players feel so as well. I'd like to express my gratitude to all of the players and also all of the staff at Mad Lions for what has been, for me at least, like outside of winning, kind of personally one of the best teams to work with in terms of having fun and feeling close to each other and trusting each other. That's been a real joy and a real pleasure for me. And that's the biggest takeaway from this year, honestly.
Joan, Esports Maniacos.
Hi, hello. This is a question for Elyoya. I know that frustration, as you said before, is what drives you right now, but taking into account that this is your first whole year competing as a at the top level, internationally speaking. How would you rate this year overall? Because you as a team have won both LEC splits. You made it to the semifinals on MSI and quarterfinals on Worlds. So how would you rate the year? Thank you very much.
I feel like the year in terms of results for the team has been pretty good, but individually I'm not that happy with my performance. I think I could have played way better. So overall I would rate it as maybe 7, 6. I think 7. I feel like I have learned a lot, and it's gonna help me a lot to improve for next year, because I know what I wanna do and what I don't want to do. So yeah, I mean, in terms of individually, I don't feel really proud of my performance, even though I think I had some good games. I feel like I could have given way more. But in terms of results, I think it was a good year. Thank you for the question.
Luis, bonus stage.
Yes, my question is for Elyoya. In the jungle, do you think there were internal factors where you lost your games today, like composition or mistakes, or was just the Rabble just better than you?
I think he was just better than me. I think Canyon today played better than me, and that's it. Even if, I mean, it was obviously like they had one that, like, I don't really want to have in consideration drafts. I think all my champions were capable of playing better, and he just did better than me. So yeah.
Are there any questions for Karzi or Kaiser? Please raise your hand. Nick, Invin Global.
Hey, thanks for taking the time. My question's for Karzi. Karzi, you played against both Gen.G and Damwon Kia at this tournament. Cloud9, who played against Damwon Kia in the group stage, goes against Gen.G next. Based on your familiarity and experience playing against these two teams and the information you have, what do you think Cloud9's chances are against Gen.G to make it to the semifinals?
Thank you for the question. So I actually think that Cloud9 has pretty high chances of making semifinals. I think that Gen.G is the best match for them. I think that the other teams are just too strong for them. So I think that Cloud9 has, like, I'd say, really high chances of making it, even though I think that Gen.G can be also really good if they have a good day. That's it.
MGG, Leo.
So hello, and my question are for both Kaiser and Karzi. So both of you have lived a lot of adventure with Mad Lions, and this year was pretty exciting with 2 titles, 1 MSI and 1 Worlds. So what are the best memories that you will take home at the end of the day?
So for me, the best memory is playing against LCK and LPL bot lanes and just smashing them sometimes. That makes me pretty happy, and that's what I take home.
I mean, I agree with Kazi. I think playing the MSI against Damwon was like one of my favorite experiences. I think the second one was winning LEC for the first time. I think those two were my favorite moments.
Final question, Niklas from DPA.
Hi, I know this will probably be rather difficult for you to answer, so the question is to the players and probably also Kazi in particular. You guys have already been sort of hinting on Twitter today, but also in interviews over the tournament that there might be roster changes after this tournament. Amut, you tweeted, that you're going to miss Kazi, and Kazi, you said that you might not end up sticking together after this tournament. So I know it will be difficult to answer, but could you guys sort of comment on what the future of the team will be after this tournament and going into next year?
Nothing is confirmed yet, and I'm sorry to say that today is not the day to talk about roster changes. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you for your questions, and thank you, Mad Lions, for your time. Media will begin the press conference for Damwon Kia shortly. Mad Lions, you may stand up and get your photo taken. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature to queue yourself in line for questions during your region's allotted time period, and we will call on you to ask your question. Please direct your question to a player, players, or coach, and please allow 3 to 5 seconds in between questions and answers for translations. We will take questions now from English-speaking media. Jay Silver.
Hi, my question is for Coach Coma. So the English broadcast today said there'd be a changing of the guard, a potential changing of the guards should Damwon Kia beat T1 tomorrow. As the coach of the former dynasty of SKT, I want to know what your thoughts are going to be ahead of the upcoming match next week versus T1.
I was getting Korean audio in my ear. Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Apologies for that. So my question is for Coach Coma. The English broadcast said today that there could be a potential changing of the guards if Damwon Kia is able to be undefeated in the semifinals versus T1. As the coach of the former SKT dynasty, I want to get his thoughts on the upcoming game versus T1 on, I believe it would be Saturday or Sunday.
네, 이제 담원 기아가 만약에 4강전에서 T1을 3대0 승리를 가져온다면 또 새로운 그런 기록이 될 것 같은데, 이전에 SKT의 왕조를 또 이끌으셨던 감독님으로서 다가오는 4강전에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 부탁드립니다.
일단 뭐
First of all, I don't really care about the record. So the teamwork with coaching staff and players is really matters for me. So I don't really think about 3-2-0. I'm just thinking about winning over the match.
Jonah Presna.
Okay, question for Shoemaker. You guys.
쇼메이커님께 질문드립니다.
You guys reach the semifinals without giving up a single game in the entire competition. What do you think about this and about the overall level in Worlds 2021?
쇼메이커 선수께 질문인데요. 이제 4강까지 전승으로 무패로 진출하셨는데 어떻게 생각하시는지, 그리고 이번 월즈 전반적인 경쟁력이나 수준에 대해서는 어떻게 평가하시나요?
일단 전승한 거 되게 잘하고.
First of all, I'm really happy that I've been making victories with no failure, and that means that I've been really lucky, and this time everybody is full of confidence, I think.
Lao Only Games.
Thank you. My question is for Showmaker. What is your expectation for this confrontation with Faker in the mid lane? Thank you.
쇼메이커 선수에게 질문입니다. 페이커 선수와의 미드 매치업 어떻게 예상하고 계신가요?
되게 잘하는 선수여서 그날 컨디션에 따라 많이 갈릴 것 같습니다.
I think he's also a great player, so I think it all comes down to who's feeling better on that match day.
Luis, bonus stage.
Yes, my question is for Kenny on Showmaker. Do you think that you have the necessary to reach the final? And if so, do you consider you can easily defeat any rivals such as Korean, Chinese, or for North America?
케니안 선수와 쇼메이커 선수에게 질문입니다. 결승전에 꼭 진출해야 된다 이런 생각을 갖고 계신지, 그리고 결승전에서 뭐 한국 팀이든 중국 팀이든 뭐 해외 팀이든 어느 팀을 만나도 이길 거라는 그런 자신감 갖고 계신가요?
일단 결승에는 무조건 가고 싶고요. 결승 상대는 딱히 상관없고 일단 티언이를 이기는 게 엄청 중요하다고 생각하고 있습니다.
I really want to reach to the finals, and regardless of our opponent at the finals, it's the most important thing right now is beating T1.
네, 저도 건부처럼 뭐 결승 엄청 가고 싶지만 당장 4강이 남아있기 때문에 4강에 집중해야 한다고 생각합니다.
Same as Kenyan, I do really want to make it to the finals, but right now I think we have to take one step at a time. So we have semifinals coming up, and I would like to focus on that first.
MGG, Leo.
Hello, my question is for Can. You say in previous interview that it might be your last year as a professional gamer, but if you win Worlds, don't you want to continue because you just show that you have such a good player still?
칸 선수에게 질문인데요. 이제 인터뷰에서 올해가 마지막이 될 것이다. 프로게이머로서 마지막 한 해가 될 거라는 언급을 하셨는데, 올해 우승을 한다면 계속해서 이어가고 싶지 않으신지, 아직도 이렇게 잘한다는 거를 세계에 보여주는 그런 모습을 보여준 건데 계속 이어가고 싶진 않으신 건가요?
당연히 뭐 이어가고 싶은 생각도 있지만은 그와 이제 관련된 이제 군 문제라든가 그런 문제가 결국 해결되지 않으면은 어쨌든 방법이 없는 거라서 추후에 만약에 혹시라도 국방부 쪽에서 자비를 베풀어 준다면은 뭐 1년 정도 더 할 수 있지 않을까요?
First of course, I do want to, continue my professional career, but there's a very complicated duty and issue about military duty as a Korean citizen, so there is no other way for me to actually deal with it right now. So if the Ministry of National Defense be merciful to me, I would be able to continue my career, but yeah, I don't really have the decision to continue my career right now.
Parks, upcomer.
Hey there, I have a question for Coma. This team is obviously very strong and they play very confidently. I'm wondering how you as a coach prepare them to be this confident and sure in their play when they're actually on stage.
꼬마 감독님께 질문입니다. 담원 기아가 아주 강력한 모습을 보여주고 있고 굉장히 자신감 있게 플레이하고 있는데, 감독님으로서 이렇게 선수들이 자신감을 가질 수 있게 좀 준비하는 데 도와주시는 건지, 좀 그런 자신감적인 부분에 케어를 해주시는 건가요?
일단은 선수들이 일단 굉장히 잘해서 자신감이 넘치는 부분도 있고요. 또 이제 코칭 스태프들이 워낙 이제 또 잘 해주기 때문에 그런 부분에서 자신감이 많이 붙는 것 같습니다.
First off, our players are feeling confident because they're performing well right now, and also the coaching staff is taking a really good care of it as well. So yeah, I think that also helps them a lot.
Final question, Esports GG, Sage.
Hi, my question's for Beryl, and I wanted to talk about your career where you've been with Damwon since the start of the org's inception. Talk to me about the growth from the early days from before to now, and did you ever feel like you're going to reach this point where you're a world champion and then now you get to face SKT, which was a dynasty for such a long time?
베릴 선수에게 질문입니다. 베릴 선수는 담원에 정말 시초부터 있었던 선수분인데 지금까지 성장에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 특히나 이제 처음에 담원 그 시초부터 아마 SKT라든지 다른 팀들이 국제 무대에서 활약하는 걸 보셨을 텐데 이제 오늘날 이제 월드 챔피언의 자리에 올라섰고 또 이제 다가오는 4강전에서 T1을 상대할 것이라는 것을 생각해 본 적이나 예상해 본 적이 있으신가요?
일단 맨 처음에 이제 프로 시작하기 전보다 훨씬 성장하는 게 눈이 보였고, 이제 T1이랑은 보통 리그 안에서만 승부를 받고 월드에선 이제 조 편성이라든지 이런 변수가 많아서 볼 수 있는 기회가 되게 없고 이번에 처음 많이 봤었는데 이제 T1이 엄청 잘하는 팀이라고 생각해서 긴장하고 해야 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, I think I made a lot of improvements since the beginning of a professional player, or even before, you know, and I have made a lot of improvements since then, and also about facing against T1. I used to play against them only in the domestic league because of, you know, the group draw or the quarterfinals draw at World, so this will be our first time playing against them. So I do think that T1 is a very strong team right now, so I think we have to keep our guards up.
We will now transition to taking questions from Chinese media.
现在将由中文媒体提问，请大家举手发言。客服电竞。想问一下看选手，今天第二把
A
前
question to Ken. In the second game, you were countered very severely in the early game, but you finally won the game. So what do you think are the adjustments that you have made?
원래 게임에서 역전이라는 게 한 사람이 잘해서 되는 게 아니고 그 상황에 맞춰서 나머지 팀원들이 어떻게 유기적인 움직임을 취해 주느냐에 따라서 말린 상황도 복구를 할 수 있고 이제 뭐 잘됐던 사람들이 더 공격적으로 할 수 있는 게 결국 팀원들의 움직임에 따라서 달라지기 때문에 팀원들이 되게 잘해 주었다고 생각합니다.
那我觉得其实整体虽然说我们有的时候会有一些失误的或者说被针对的地方，但是呢其实我们因为这个团队游戏很多的时候如果是靠队友们能够配合打得好的话，其实今天的主要是虽然说我是被针对的那一方，但是我的队友们他们给了我很多的帮助，因为有他们所以说我们能够比较顺利的拿下比赛的胜利。
伟成。
OK， 好，那么我就接续上一个问题，就继续问克兰选手好了。那第三局开始也可以看到
A
DK
question to Ken. From the third game onward, DK was countering your top lane. Are they aiming to counter your strategies?
So for the game 3, we feels like you guys really targeted a lot on my line's top lane. So is this just some sort of the feedback based on the game 2? And how do you feel about today's lineup against Armor, the opponent's top laner?
한 선수에게 다시 한번 질문입니다. 이제 3세트에는 담원 기아가 탑 쪽으로 많은 움직임을 보여줬는데 이 경기에 대한 피드백으로 인한 좀 전략의 변경인지 그리고 아르무트 선수와 탑 매치업에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시나요?
일단 2세트하고는 처음 시작부터 좀 달리 했던 게 어쨌든 탑 챔피언이 제이스면은 어느 정도 주도권이 있기 때문에 그걸 바탕으로 적 정글을 들어가서 적 정글의 위치도 보고 탑 딜교한 상황이 좋게 흘러갔기 때문에 위쪽으로 투자했을 때 결과값을 만들기 쉽다고 생각해서 그렇게 됐었고 아르무트 선수가 제가 앞에서 이제 인터뷰에서 얘기했을 때 서구권 선수들이 라인전에서 되게 약세를 보이는 경우가 많은데 아르무트 선수가 그래도 이제 좀 그런 서구권 선수들 중에서는 되게 챔피언 풀도 넓고 라인전 같은 경우에서도 강점을 보이기 때문에 되게 잘하는 선수였던 것 같아요. 그래도 이번 경기에서는 저희 팀원들이 더 잘했기 때문에 3대 0으로 이긴 것 같습니다.
那其实我们因为当时拿的是杰斯，所以说杰斯来讲是一个对线期能够拿到主动权的一个英雄，而且同时其实我们的中野呀，包括说上野还可以打的比较的主动性，比较有联动性，所以说可以比较好的来取得一些很好的效果。然后同时对于阿莫的选手，我觉得他整体是一个打得非常非常好的，而且我觉得他有着非常深的英雄池，而且也比较有进攻性，所以说我对他有着非常高的一个评价，我觉得他是个打得很好的选手。
So first off, Jace is a champion that can have strong lane priority early on. So based on the prio, I tried to seek the enemy jungler's location, and also I had a lot of good trades against Armuts. So I thought that it would be really worth it if we can gank top and get some reward. And also I already mentioned in the interview that most of the Western laners are very weak during the laning phase, but Armut among other Western players, I think he has a very wide champion pool. I think he's really strong in lane as well, so I think he's a great player.
大晶晶，
你好，这个问题任何一位选手都可以回答。那么你们一直保持着全胜战绩，是否有信心全胜夺冠呢？谢谢。
So this question is for any Tomokia player. You guys have continued the winning streak. So are you guys confident to get the final win without any single loss?
담원기아 선수분 아무나 대답해 주시면 감사할 것 같습니다. 지금 연승을 이어가고 계신데 무패 우승까지 달성하실 수 있다고 생각하시는지, 전승 우승에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시나요?
일단 전승 우승 당연히 너무 하고 싶은데 솔직히 말해서 이제 남은 팀들이 너무 강한 팀들이다 보니까 확률적으로 그렇게 쉬울 것 같진 않아요. 그래도 엄청난 기록을 세울 수 있는 기회니까 꼭 한번 도전해보고 싶네요.
I would really like to, win the entire tournament without dropping any game, but the remaining teams are so strong, so it's gonna be really hard. It's not gonna be easy, but yeah, this is a really great chance for us to set a new record. So I would love to challenge for that.
当然我们其实是想要尽力的是全胜夺冠的，但是呢，其实现在全球总决赛的其他队伍都是非常非常强的，所以说这无论如何是非常难的，但是如果有机会，我们还是想尽量的去挑战一下这样的一个记录。
最后一个问题，伟成。
好，那这个问题比较轻松，我想问一下Showmaker，就是他在今天的预告中有一个与那个 NAD 的阿姆对吼的镜头，那他会不会对这个镜头感到尴尬？那他们今天有什么有趣的互动在拍摄这个镜头的时候？谢谢。
是会不会感到尴尬吗？
对。
So in the teaser for today's game, this question is to Showmaker. So in the teaser, we have seen something raining from your side and armor is on fire. So maybe do you feel a bit embarrassed of shooting this scene? And maybe is there any episode for shooting this part of, embarrassed?
쇼메이커 선수에게 질문입니다. 티저 영상을 보니까 쇼메이커 선수는 이렇게 물을 약간 물 컨셉으로 찍었고 아르무트 선수는 불 컨셉으로 등장을 했는데 그때 약간 조금 머쓱머쓱하거나 그러진 않은데 티저 촬영장에서 재밌는 에피소드 같은 건 없었나요?
일단 매드 선수들이 다들 너무 유쾌하고 다 성격이 좋아가지고 그냥 농담 서로 주고받으면서 재밌게 촬영했던 것 같고 특별하게 엄청난 에피소드는 없었던 것 같아요.
The Red Lions players have great personality, so yeah, I enjoyed having this teaser shoot with them. We were having some communication, joking with each other, but I don't really have any special episode with the Met players.
无论如何，我觉得所有 My Lions 的选手们都是性格非常好的，我也非常享受和他们一起拍摄宣传片的一个过程。我们有一起开玩笑啊，然后也是非常有趣的一个体验。但是其实没有特别的一些花絮想要分享。
And to you, Ariel.
Okay, thank you. We will transition to taking questions from Korean media now. So please use the Zoom hand raise feature to cue your question.
네, 한국 기자님들 질문 받겠습니다. 반응 손들기 버튼 눌러주시면 제가 순서대로 불러드릴게요. 호라이즌 e스포츠 애슐리강 기자님부터 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 승리 축하드립니다. 오늘 고스트 선수한테 지부드리겠습니다. 이 경기에서 진을 잡으시고 좋은 활약으로 한국 해설방송에서 POG까지 받으셨는데요. 올해 2세트에서 진으로 자신의 롤드컵 우승을 끼고 중요한 경기에서 역전의 키플레이어가 된 소감이 어떠신가요? 그리고 현재 자신의 폼에 대한 평가도 부탁드립니다.
This question is over to Ghost. You were having a great performance on Jin in game number 2 with your own skin. So you were the main character performing well in order to turn the game around. So what do you feel about your, heroic performance in that game? And also how do you rate your current form right now?
답변하면 되나요? 네. 일단 제가 작년에 월드 챔피언십을 할 때는 진을 다른 팀 이제 스킨을 사용하고 플레이했었는데 올해는 이제 제 스킨이 나와서 플레이하니까 더욱더 뜻깊고 그리고 오늘 경기에서 되게 좋은 퍼포먼스로 이겨서 더 제 스킨을 쓰고 그렇게 돼서 더 즐거웠던 것 같습니다.
작년엔 그냥 다른 스킨 아니면
T1.
네.
네.
So last year at Worlds, I used the SKT Jin skin, but it's very meaningful for me that I got to play with my own skin, perform so well, and got the victory.
네, 국민일보 윤민석 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 우선 4강 진출하신 거 축하드리고요. 저는 쇼메이커 선수랑 캐니언 선수한테 이제 질문을 드리고 싶습니다. 이제 쇼메이커 선수는 이제 신드라를 플레이하실 때 많이들 드는 나니비 아닌 콩콩이와 포식자를 선택하신 이유가 궁금하고요. 그리고 3세트 때는 영약을 비교적 빠르게 구매하셨는데 저는 리스크 있는 판단이라고 생각을 했거든요. 당시에 왜 그렇게 이제 판단을 하셨는지 궁금합니다. 그리고 캐니언 선수에게는 이제 3세트 때 처음에 제어와드 스타트를 하신 게 좀 눈에 띄었는데 왜 그렇게 선택을 하신 건지 마찬가지로 궁금합니다.
This question is over to Showmaker and Kenyon. First, Showmaker, could you break down your rune choice? Most of the Syndra players would choose Phase Rush, but you decided to go with Airy or Predator. So any reason behind those choice? And also, you were really quick buying the Elixir in game number 3. So any reason behind that as well? And another question is over to Kenyon. You started with a control word in game number 3. So could you also break down your early kind of build and plan?
일단 룬 같은 경우는 상대 챔프나 뭐 저희 챔프 보고 그냥 상황에 맞춰서 들고 싶은 거 드는 편이어서 그렇게 들었던 것 같고 영약을 많이 빤 거는 그때 제가 아마 성장이 좀 말렸었는데 상대 빅토르가 좀 잘 커서 최대한 그 중요한 한타 때 좀 그 성장 차이 메꿔서 이득 보려고 했습니다.
핑크와드를 산 이유는 이제 1레벨에 인베에 가려고 했는데 뭔가 좋아 보여서 그냥 샀습니다.
So about my rune choice, it all comes down to the opponent draft, their comp, and also our comp as well. So try to go with flexible rune choice depending on the comps. And also about the elixir, because I was a little bit falling behind at that point and Victor was very fed, I wanted to close the gap by buying the elixir and getting the proc of it. And also the pink word start was We were aiming for the level 1 invade, so I thought it was really good.
네, 경향게임스 박준수 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다. 네, 칸 선수에게 질문 드립니다. 개인적으로 4강전 핵심 포인트는 탑라인 대결이 될 것 같은데요. 칸나 선수의 8강전 경기를 보고 어떤 느낌이 들었나요?
This question is over to Kwan. I personally think that semifinals, the key matchup will be the top lane. So what did you think of Kanna's laning phase performance in the quarterfinals?
요새 메타에서 그래도 가장 치고받고 싸우는 라인이 탑이 그 빈도수가 되게 많기도 하고 그런 경향이 짙어서 뭐 그렇게 생각은 하실 수는 있는데 막상 게임 내에 들어가면은 다른 라인들의 움직임에 따라서도 달라지는 부분이 굉장히 많기 때문에 또 그런 점에 있어서 저희 팀이 좀 더 강점을 가지고 있다고 생각하고 잘 하다 보면은 이기지 않을까 생각합니다.
So yeah, I mean, you can think so based on the meta right now. I know top lane is the most volatile one. We have a lot of, fights going back and forth. We have the highest tendency to have fights and action on the top lane. But I also think that it all also depends on how other players and other laners move in the game as well. So I don't want to define the top lane is the most decisive lane. I think you also have to pay attention how other roles and players are moving around the map. And also in that perspective, I think our team has a big edge over the opponent. So if we play well, I think we will win.
네, 데일리 스포츠 안수민 기자님 질문 드립니다. 캐니언 선수에게 질문 드립니다. 엘리오야 선수가 키아나로 좋은 모습을 많이 보여줬는데 이번 경기에서는 뱀픽하지 않았습니다. 만약 상대가 키아나를 뽑았다면 어떻게 대처하셨을까요? 또 키아나에 대해서 어떻게 평가하는지도 말씀 부탁드립니다.
This question is over to Kenyon. Elioya has been showing great performance on Kiana so far, but this champion was neither picked nor banned in the series. So how would Tom and Kia reacted to his Kiana if he picked that champion in the series? And also how do you rate this champion right now?
일단 리신을 픽하면 일단 키아나가
I picked Lee Xin, and that's the skill that Kiana can depend on Lee Xin. So E or Q used, and then we can see the whole entire picture. So it was really hard to use Kiana, and even if I use Kiana, it was really hard in terms of skill. So it might be easier.
I think Lee Sin was a huge counter into Kiana because he can actually reveal Kiana when she disappears. The E skill and the Q skill, the counter to her invisibility. And also, even if he picked Kiana, I think Lee Sin, based on their champion skills, I think Lee Sin is a strong counter into Kiana. So I think that would have been an easy game for us as well.
네, 쿠키뉴스 강한결 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 베릴 선수께 질문 드리고 싶습니다. 오늘 이렇게 파이크를
So today you chose Pike and you played really well. Pike.
패치에서 이제 좀 상향을 먹어서 좀 나올 수 있다는 얘기도 나왔었고 이제 그 종종 나오기도 했었는데 지금 베릴 선수가 생각하시기에 좀 그 파이크가 어떤 상황에서 좀 꺼낼 수 있을지 그리고 좀 이거를 좀 특정 상황에서 좀 어떤 매치업 상대로 좀 좋다고 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
This question is over to Beryl. So you had a great performance on Pike today. Some people actually thought Pike will be viable with this incoming patch with the buff on Umbroglaive. So I want to know when is the right timing or situation that Pike can show up, and also in what kind of a matchup Pike has priority.
파이크는 뭐 워낙 챔피언이 하이 리스크 하이 리턴이라서 뭐 좀 대회선 꺼내기 힘든 것 같고 오늘은 사용한 이유는 그냥 퍼플팀 오픽의 권한으로 제가 하고 싶은 거 했습니다.
Pike is a typical high risk, high return champion, so it's not that viable in competitive matches. But the reason behind the Pike pick in today's series is I just wanted to fully enjoy the authority of red side fifth pick.
All right, no final questions. Thank you, Damwon Kia, for your time. That concludes the quarterfinals day 3 press conferences. The match between Gen G and C9 will begin at 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. PDT, October 25. So make sure to tune in on lolesports.com to catch the action. We will conduct press conferences for the 2 teams following the best of 5. Thank you, everyone. 감사합니다. Damwon Kia.